Hello Algebra 1 students. Today we are starting Chapter 3 and we're going to look at inequalities and their graphs. The following symbols are used for inequalities. We will use an is greater than sign, an is less than sign, an is greater than or equal to sign, and an is less than or equal to sign. For all of these symbols, the number on the left is going to have to be greater than the number on the right, or the number on the left is going to have to be less than the number on the right. Over here, these numbers, the numbers on the left, could also be equal to the number on the right because of the little equal to sign underneath. For example, problem 1, what inequality represents 5 plus the number y is less than negative 10? We're going to just translate this sentence into symbols. 5 plus the number y is 5 plus y. Is less than translates into the is less than symbol, and then negative 10 just gets rewritten as negative 10. So we get 5 plus y is less than negative 10. Let's try number 1. P is greater than or equal to 5, so we're going to write the P. Then the sentence says, is greater than or equal to. So that translates into the symbol that opens up to the left, points to the right, is greater than or equal to. And then we write the 5. For number 2, A is less than or equal to negative 4. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need some more time to copy down examples. Number 3, 2 times d is less than 10. 2 times d is written 2d. In algebra, we don't need any multiplication symbols when we have variables. Is less than 10. Number 4, r divided by 5. That's going to be r with a fraction bar and a 5 in the denominator. Please do not use r divided by 5. We're not using this division symbol anymore. So, sorry about that. Okay, I had some technical difficulties, so let's try again. This is r divided by 5. Then we're going to do the is greater than symbol, and then 0. And as I was saying a second ago, I do not want you to use r divided by 5 to look like that. We're going to use the horizontal fraction bars from now on. So this is not what we want to do. The next type of problem that you're going to see is going to be a question like this. Is negative 2 a solution of 3t plus 10 is greater than or equal to 5? In order to answer this question, we need to substitute negative 2 for t. So right here, the negative 2 is going to replace the t. 3 times negative 2 plus 10 is greater than or equal to 5. We're trying to determine whether that's true. That's why there's a little question mark above that greater than or equal to sign. So then 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and negative 6 plus 10 is 4. So then you have to ask yourself, is 4 greater than or equal to 5? And it is not, so negative 2 is not a solution. Let's try number 5. Determine whether negative 4 is a solution of the inequality. So we're going to rewrite the problem as 5 times negative 4 minus 7 is greater than 13. We want to know if that's true, so I'm putting a question mark. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. And then negative 20 minus 7 is negative 27. So then, is negative 27 greater than 13? The answer is no. So negative 4 is not a solution of that inequality. Let's try number 6. We need to substitute -4 for m. Starting inside the parentheses, -4 plus 1 is -3. Then -3 times 2 is -6. And we end up with -6 is less than -6. Is that true? It is not. They are equal to each other. So if there had been an equal to sign right there, is less than or equal to, then you could have said yes. But in this case, the answer is no. Let's try one more. We're still using -4. So we're going to replace h with a -4. And different problems are going to ask you to use different numbers to test. These examples just all happen to use the -4. All right, we need to do the numerator first. So -8 plus 4. Sorry, not -8, +8. 8 plus -4, I lost my writing, so I have to redo it, sorry, is going to be a +4 divided by 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you have to ask yourself, is 2 less than or equal to 8? It is. So -4 is a solution to the inequality. Finally, we're going to graph inequalities today. When graphing an inequality on a number line, we use an open circle if we have an is greater than or an is less than sign. We use a closed circle if we have an is greater than or equal to or an is less than or equal to sign. So the first example is done for you. We're going to graph w is greater than or equal to -1. The first thing you do is you put a closed circle on -1, just like you see on your paper. So that dot is filled in. Now, w is greater than or equal to -1, so you need to draw a line to the numbers that are bigger than -1. That's why this line goes off to the right. For problem 8, y is greater than or equal to 0. So we need to put some tick marks on the number line. And this problem, I think I might have said greater than, but it's less than. Y is less than or equal to 0. We have an equal to sign, so that means it's going to be a closed circle on 0. So make a dot on 0. And then y is less than 0 means we want all the numbers smaller than 0. And the numbers that are smaller than 0 are going to be to the left of 0. So we draw an arrow going to the left. Number 9, again, let's put some tick marks on here. P is greater than -4. We need an open circle at -4. There's no little line underneath the greater than sign, so it's not equal to. It's just greater than. So it's open circle. That means don't use the -4 in your answer. Use everything right up next to it. And we want all the numbers bigger, so we're going to draw a line to the right with an arrow. So everything that's bigger than -4 will make the inequality true. For number 10, we need a closed circle at -2. A is greater than or equal to -2, so we want all the numbers bigger. So this time we go to the right. Remember, if you have a question, put a question mark next to the problem and we'll go over it when you get to class tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to go the other direction. You've got some graphs here and we're going to write the inequality that represents them. So the example that you're given, we have a line that goes all the way up to 4 and there's an open circle on 4. Since this circle is open, we're going to use either a less than or a greater than. In this case, it's a less than. The line represents all of the x's. These are all of your potential numbers. And these numbers are all smaller than the 4. So number 11, all of these numbers down here where the line is, those are your x's. The number that we have the circle on is a -1, and these numbers are smaller than the -1. So x is less than -1. The circle is open, so it's strictly less than. We do not put the equal to sign. For number 12, there is a dot on the 3. And then all the numbers up here are bigger. These are your x's. And so the 3 is smaller than the x. Okay, as I was saying, we have a point on the 3, and then the x is over here. All these are your x's, and it's closed. So this time it's going to be less than or equal to 3. Now another way to write this would be to say that x is greater than or equal to 3. These are two different ways of writing the same graph. Both are correct. Number 13, here's your line. That represents the x's. The point is the 2, and it's going to be less than or equal to, because these numbers are less than or equal to the 2. It's equal to because of the closed dot. For number 14, we've got a -4, and then the x's are up here, so the -4 is less than the x. It's an open circle, so it's strictly less than. Now, just like number 12, we could also write this x is greater than -4. And for number 13, we could write that one 2 is greater than or equal to x. So for each of these problems, there's two ways to write the answer. Please, again, make a question mark next to any examples that you have questions on, and we will go over those first thing tomorrow in class.